$7 notebook changed everything for my wellness business. It was towards the end of the year where I was healing from one of my surgeries, and this was several years ago, but I was really dreading going back to work. I love the people I worked with, but my schedule was a mess. I was teaching yoga classes at 7 a.m. in the morning. I would have patients. I would sometimes do a noon class, have more patients, and then I would have, hey there, what's up? Tell me if you can relate. How is your schedule going? And I would have another class in the evening. And as I was healing from surgery, I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I stagger my comeback and then make my schedule in a sustainable way? And essentially, that notebook on the couch just allowed me to map out my whole entire year. And personally, when I was relaxed and my nervous system was regulated, I was more creative, so I was able to think outside the box. And this is what I want to provide for you, is the opportunity to come into a space where you can plan the end of this year, so you can sign more clients now at the end of this year, so that you start next year, 2026, with a plan that's already started with momentum, so that you end next year in a whole different place than where you are now. So for me, what allowed me to do that was really analyze all these different puzzle pieces that we have in our business, like our offer, our audience size, the revenue goals that we have, and our schedule. They have to work together to enable us to hit our goals. If the puzzle pieces aren't matching, that's when we bump up against a lot of frustration. So I'll just give you an example. Let's say you really want to sell I'm going to just use easy numbers, a $50 membership. But you have an audience, you want to put all your yoga classes in there, all your information, you want to teach on nervous system regulation, breath work, etc., etc. If you have an audience size of 200 to 500 followers on Instagram, maybe a couple hundred followers on your Instagram, you might be able to bring in a couple $1,000s off that membership price if you really hit it hard and your message nails the result of the problem that you're really hoping to solve for your clients. However, it's hard to replicate month after month. It's an audience size with a price point mismatch. And I've done another Instagram live on this, so you can look back in my feed and get more details on that. But sometimes you don't realize you have a mismatch until you're in it. And that is the whole point about planning, is that if you can come into a place where your nervous system is regulated, you feel like you're in a safe space to actually think and analyze, okay, what do I want my offers to be for next year's? What do I want my schedule to look like? What do I want my revenue to look like? And actually have someone who's gone ahead of you get their eyes on your business, aka me, then you're going to save yourself so much heartache and frustration and shorten your learning curve, because we can actually work out the numbers and see if your messaging and your goals are all in alignment with what you're hoping to achieve. So my client Rachel, when she first came to me, I just see so many practitioners burn out overworking when it's really refinements and tweaks that allow them to go further without overworking. Actually, they're able to reduce their hours significantly. So my client Rachel, she's an acupuncturist, very skilled, a lot of knowledge, has a lot to offer her clients, but she was stuck at 3 to 5K revenue months, and she was overworking. She was giving a lot physically in her brick and mortar office. she couldn't figure out a way. She had an online program, but it was a lower ticket price. It did sell, but she was having a hard time bringing in consistent revenue in a scalable offer, in a scalable way. And so when we worked together, we just refined those puzzle pieces. She didn't have to add anything more. It was just a refinement of her offer and her messaging. And that allowed her to go from those 3 to 5K revenue months and overworking to consistent 5-figure months. She quickly hit a 12K month, then an 18K month, another 12K month. She was solid in the 5-figure months and has maintained it now for almost a year. And now we're actually working on another online offer and bringing in more online marketing. So she didn't actually market a ton on Instagram. So if Instagram is not a huge fan for you, that's okay. There's other ways to make this happen without relying 100% on Instagram. However, I have another client, Katie. We really worked on her Instagram, improving her audience size and her visibility. And she was able to reduce her working hours from 40 to 60 hours a week, and she doubled her revenue as well. So there's many different options, but you want to start to organize and plan right now what your offer is, what your revenue goal is, what does your marketing plan look like, because if you're starting to get all that information and those details together now, it gives you an opportunity to test and trial and error and have someone to help you through. Because entrepreneurship, and I have podcasts on this, it's inevitable at some time, because it's all hypotheses at times, where you're putting an idea saying, okay, I want to test this price point, I want to sign this many clients to hit this revenue goal, to help this many people. But sometimes you just have to test it first to see if that hypothesis is true, because I know a lot of you are in science, understand science. It's like an experiment where you're testing certain variables to see if that hypothesis proves to be true. And sometimes it doesn't, but a lot of times in entrepreneurship, it doesn't work the first time exactly out of the gate, and you have to refine and tweak until it does. And it doesn't mean anything's gone wrong. It doesn't mean that you're going to fail forever. It just means refinement and tweaking is needed. And the longer your runway you have to give yourself to refine and tweak so you can get it right, so it can work, the more opportunities for success you're going to create for yourself. So November 17th, I'm holding a strategic planning end of the year workshop. So you can get all those details, and it's going to be a small group so you can get my feedback on your offers, make sure they're scalable, your price point for your audience size, your marketing plan. We are going to plan all that out so you have the potential to actually sign clients now at the end of the year versus waiting till January. And by doing that, you're also going to set yourself up for more success in January versus starting January kind of frozen and overwhelmed and all that you want to do and spinning your wheels and not really sure knowing what to do or what to prioritize. So comment, plan right now to get into this workshop with me live November 17th. It's $7 to make thousands of dollars. And I am excited to see you there.